Let's look at Dropbox. First off, read this disclaimer carefully, and like, sub, share, and comment to gain full access to the content. Okay, Dropbox is in a megatrend, which I call virtual workplace. So here you have all the stocks in that portfolio. The average performance is massively outperforming the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq for sure. Dropbox is the worst performing in this group as far as the 52-week low goes, but in regards to the 52-week highs, it's a bit of a different story. I have categorized Dropbox as, cloud storage, because that is basically what they are about. So here is the company's website. Many of you have probably tried Dropbox. They have, a decent system for, free users. Let's just scroll through here. This is one of those services that have seen a significant increase in demand as the workforce becomes more and more digital. Work from home is not going away. And there's a bunch of other reasons to be, bullish on this virtual workplace theme. Because some people thought that when the pandemic was over, or at least it started to go down, that it would be very bad. But even though we have certainly seen a pullback in some of the high-flying stocks, there's been a permanent change in behavior. So here is the seasonality of the stock. It hasn't been public for that many years, hence we need to take this seasonality with a grain of salt, but it does suggest that December is, a mediocre month, but January and February are decent. Well, it is 50-50 basically. If we go here to the charts, we see an interesting pattern. So this is all the history we have, weekly data points, big picture. And we have something that is called a rounding bottom. So let's draw a rounding bottom. So the rounding bottom, it looks like this, where you have the bears in control, and then you get this point of equilibrium, and then the bulls gain leverage. The beauty of the rounding bottom is that, especially in this case, when it has taken multiple years for it to develop, it basically means that a lot of news, reports, you name it, is baked into the current price. The bulls have had their say, the bears have had their say, and it could be that this was the capitulation low. It's possible. We are seeing that even though there was this pullback recently, the buyers stepped in at a higher level than what we saw back here. That's interesting. So there is some bullish developments here. If we go here to the daily data points, okay, let's load the moving averages like that. So here you can see this rounding bottom in more detail. It is a bit of a messy rounding bottom. It is not like a textbook nice and clean, but we are seeing, if you look at the most recent developments, we did slip below the 200-day moving average in red, okay? Support, but then it broke, and it has now become a resistance level. Test, fail, test, and so far it's been a fail. That is an issue. It is. The thing is that Dropbox, as I said, it has been forming this rounding bottom over a long period. We've seen big sell-offs in the past, and the buyers have stepped in. Hence, even though we are seeing this rejection here, we are not that far away from the price levels where buyers have stepped in the past. Hence, based on the chart, this doesn't push me in the direction of thinking, shorting Dropbox. I'm leaning more bullish here. And that's a key logic to think of when you are investing, is that it's all about what happens after you put on your position. Because if you have a spike, if you have like a stock that has made like a new all-time high and it is very like overbought, then it makes sense to start to think a bit more bearishly. But if you have a security, like in this case, that is close to the lows, then you need to flip it a bit, because, it's all about, buying fair and selling greed. Let's also look at some cycle patterns. I think we might have some kind of cyclicality here. Let's look. So you see that here you have this cycle. Let's move it a little bit more so it matches. So major cycle, rise, decline-ish. Here, this cycle is suggesting that there could be a rising phase on the horizon as part of a new cycle. We are not seeing the buyers significantly step up yet here in the accumulation distribution line. The correlation with the S&P 500 is minus 53% negative, so yeah. Let's now go to the fundamentals. Here we can see also some other charts, seeing that we did go down to this support trend line. That's, a bit of a bullish sign. But they do draw in this multiple top and also this descending trend line. If you look here at the target price among all these analysts, you can see that they are suggesting a 29-ish% upside from the current price level. If we go to Saks.com, they have a number to buy on Dropbox, a C value score, A growth, and C momentum, and the VGM of B. So that's bullish. The industry rank is weak, but I don't agree with the categorization. They call it internet services. I don't think that is specific enough. There is no dividend, 8 billion market cap. Yeah. Okay, so to sum up my take here on Dropbox. It is part of a theme that I'm certainly bullish on long term, looking at the coming years. And among these stocks, Dropbox is one. I'm not sure if it's the most reasonably priced as far as accounting principle goes, but we did see the fundamentals were quite decent. Many of these other stocks, they are, still at very elevated levels vis-a-vis the actual fundamentals. Hence, as far as putting on a bullish position, I think Dropbox is actually one of the more interesting candidates. The chart suggested a fundamental trend change in favor of the bulls through this rounding bottom. We also saw that there was a horizontal price zone where buyers have been stepping in, but there was also some conflicting signals as well as far as a more bearish argument goes, because we did see a significant and clear rejection at the 200-day moving average. So that's an issue. That did become a solid resistance level. Hence, if you are going to put on a bullish position on Dropbox, you should be prepared for it being potentially a bit of a frustrating investment. It is very jagged, as you can see, up and down, down. The seasonality, which we need to be a bit careful with because we do not have many years of data. It is suggesting weakness in December. Hence, yeah, but this is one I would rather have on my bullish opportunities radar than the bearish opportunities radar. Whatever you do, of course, you want to be careful in the market and ideally create a market neutral portfolio.